Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Short Story Bingo, episode 10 of Our Stories. My name is Nate Chacon III, and today's guest, we have my good friend, Hardcastle. He is a hip-hop artist out of Reno, Nevada, and we talked about a lot, man. I'll make it quick. We spoke about some recent hardships that he's gone through and what he's had to persevere through that, what got him back into writing again, the driving factor behind that, and then spoke about really what it means to meant to him to be able to make those leaps. We also started to dive in a little bit into the Reno scene, how he got his, so much stuff that we covered. Very, very interesting guy, man, and couldn't be more happy to present it. I wanted to say thank you to everyone, new subscribers and folks that have been listening online. Grateful for your support. So without further ado, Short Story Bingo, episode 10 with Hardcastle. See you at the end.
Short story bingo. Short story bingo. Short story bingo. Short story bingo. Sometimes they're funny and sometimes they're sad. Most of the time they're funny because I hate to be sad. Short story bingo. Short story bingo. Short story bingo. Short story bingo. But don't take my word for it. Spare fingers. Cheers.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Short Story Bingo, Our Stories, episode 10. If this is your first time, welcome. If it's not, the retention program is working. My name is Nate Chacon III, and I'm so happy you made it here. We have been on a pretty good roll, and none of that goes unnoticed from you guys. So I was checking out, again, my Podbean analytics. Shout out to Podbean. I'm not getting sponsored yet by them, but fuck them. And saw that a lot of folks are checking out on Apple Podcasts. So if you could leave a review and give a quick rate. If it's 5, tell me why. If it's 1, tell me fucking why. So in either respect, please let me know. But thank you for the support on the last episode with Mike Bailey. Really was able to extrapolate a lot from that and get to know him a little bit more and what he's trying to what he is accomplishing with his goals when it comes to hip hop and his family and all that. So without further ado, though, we have another guest here today, and I am very, very excited because he is someone that, you guys are going to find out. So Short Story Bingo, episode 10, Our Stories, hosted by myself, Nate Chacon III, and our guest today is a good friend of mine. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before I introduce you, I didn't even fucking say what I do. So on this podcast, I interview friends of mine or folks that I don't know in order to find out a little bit more about them. And by the end, hopefully we're either friends or at least we told us some cool stories. So, okay. So episode 10, here we go. So I've known him for quite some time, so we're going to talk about it. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Hardcastle.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Excited to be here.
Hell yeah, man. Look at this. Since I'm on this by my computer.
What you got?
Oh, wait. There we go. I don't know if you can hear that.
I cannot.
You couldn't hear. Okay, so you can't hear the clapping, but there was clapping happening.
I heard clapping. Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's what's happening.
Yeah. When you and I are together, I'm just so used to clapping.
Oh, he's like, I'm just so used to it that it's just second nature. I just got to look at the time. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So how the fuck have you been?
I've been great. I've been doing great. Family's doing great. Work's going great. Music's going great. Couldn't ask for honestly anything better.
Hell yeah, man. That's good. That's really fucking dope to hear. To give folks a little bit of an idea, I was thinking about this since you said that you wanted to come on the podcast. I was like, of course we have some pretty cool ass fucking memories together, but when did I actually meet you? And what was that first interaction, or like whatever, what led up to it. And I go to Assault and Battling. And how did we connect?
We connected through Absurd. He brought us together.
Absurd did.
And then
what up, Absurd?
What up, baby?
Yeah.
And then we came out to Utah. It was me, my brother Cody, and Nap. We came out there, and I battled Jay Savage.
That's right. Okay.
And from there, it was second to nature. Immediately clicked. Boom.
Dude, so when did we have any interaction though, like with like Facebook messages and shit like that, or was it like Absurd was just like, hey, these guys are coming?
Yeah, pretty much. Absurd said, hey, there's a league out in Utah, we're gonna get you on it. Told me that you pretty much ran the league. I don't even think we had too much dialogue until we came to your house.
Really?
That was really the first interaction that we had. Like, we just showed up and we're like, hey, we're us. And you're like, hey, this is me. And then we went to the liquor store, and I remember, because I didn't understand why we had to get there so soon, because you're like, there's going to be a line. And I'm like, what does this liquor store sell? Why is there going to be a line? And you're like, because it closes. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then it was over. Then we had the party that night where we all stayed up all night, as MCs do, and we just freestyled probably till like 4 a.m, and then slept for a couple hours, and then went to the event.
That's wild. So okay, so we got together and we partied our asses off and fucking did a lot of hip hop cool shit. So that's what that sounds like to me. So this is my recollection for sure, because you bringing up that interaction of going to the liquor store and being like, oh shit, like they do close. Like I recall how excited I was to have folks coming in from out of town to come out and battle, and because it was a budding thing for Mike Masters to be like reaching out like that, like and so I was like, oh, this is sick. And then when you and I actually started honestly just started busting balls and joking around and shit, I was like, oh, this guy is like fucking I'm good with him, we're gonna be good. And that's not to say I'm not good with a lot of people. I'm pretty personable, I feel like, but from the jump, as you said, I think we had a pretty good connection.
Well, yeah, we made you watch Horrible Bosses, remember? All night.
Dude.
That's all we did. And then when we came back out, when I battled Consequence, we made you watch Horrible Bosses again.
And that was because it was funny.
It was funny.
But also Horrible Bosses is funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that movie is hilarious. And then my dog Benny bit Nap.
Yeah, because remember the lights went out and Nap got scared downstairs, and Benny was sleeping with me. Remember, I gave him Crab to be my best friend. Yeah. And you're like, be careful. And I'm like, I think we're best friends now. And he was sleeping with me on the couch. Nap ran upstairs. Benny freaked out and bit Nap.
Did he bite him hard?
No, he just nipped his calf. Remember?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Benny is my dog. I haven't had him with me for a while. He's at my dad's house. He's protecting their house, and he's been protecting their house for like the last 5 years or a little longer than that. But he was I had him all the time. And he's a nipper. He's definitely, he's
great.
But I do remember that you got along with him, and I was like, dude, this is sick. Like, good that he doesn't have to be in his kennel or whatever, because I hate to put him in there when folks are around.
Yeah.
This is a shout out to you, Pat Main, that I could have used your help when Benny was in my house to train him better. And train me better, because I had to be a better me in order to be there for him. Yeah. That's just me shitting on the dog. I'm just like, yeah, he was a piece of shit. And just and how owners just never take credit because
they never take responsibility.
Like, they never do.
No, they're like, do you walk the dog? No, it's probably Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the dog's fault. Why would I have to walk it? It walks in the house.
Yeah, he fucking walks around the house, dude, and then
Yeah.
sleeps. So I don't have to walk him. Yeah, you do. I was listening to something the other day about getting a dog for like a present, like a surprise present, like a birthday present or something. Hey, Benny was that for me. And so, dude, hey, go ahead and just give me a responsibility for my birthday.
Right. Here you go. It's a lifelong commitment for the next 10 to 14 years. You're welcome.
Yeah. Have you ever been given something that's like not even just like a commitment, like a dog or something, but like a off base birthday gift that you're like, I don't know if
nothing really like that. I mean, I'm the one that comes home with animals. I just came home in November with a brand new puppy. We already have 3 dogs. Now we have 4.
Oh my
because I couldn't say no to her. She was too cute. So I had to bring her home.
Where'd you find her?
The Humane Society.
Oh, okay. Are all your dogs rescues?
Yeah, all of them.
Oh wow. Okay. Is that something that you hold close? I didn't know that. So is that something that you like? Is that a personal thing or?
Yeah. If if I could, I would rescue animals if I had the capacity at a house and a place where I could do it, safely and be like a rehabilitation center for animals.
Yeah.
Or just be a stop on the way for an animal finding their forever home. If I could do that, that would be amazing. Obviously, I'm not set up that way out here, but 4 dogs I think is our max, and we rescued a cat as well. But if I could do that for the rest of my life, just save animals, rehabilitate them. If I had the knowledge to do that, that would be amazing.
I have to go lean into that because of the passion that you just exhibited from that it begs the question of like, how did that start? I mean, from like a little kid type of stuff. Like, I mean, have you had animals in your life like that?
Yeah, I've had dogs my whole life. And obviously, I mean, if anyone who's followed me or seen any of my posts, it's always related to a wolf. I just have that huge passion for, I mean, the thing that I love about dogs is, dogs don't judge. They're here for you, and you're here for them. And when I see, an animal, any animal really just, being not taken care of, or even when someone's walking the dog and they do something simple as pull the leash really hard, like to me, that's like that exhibits that you don't know how to take care of the responsibility that you've asked for. The dog didn't ask for you to adopt them. You chose to. So you need to have that commitment to give you the same love that dog is giving back to you. Dogs will love you unconditionally and they will be there for you. And I've always said that there's no bad dog. There's just bad owners.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's something that gets often put off. And what I'm referring to is like the owner's responsibility. And well, I think that owners don't take responsibility more often than they should. Excuse me. That's what I should have said. And they just like put it on the dog. And then of course I'm going to touch on like, I think of the show, Pit Bulls and Parolees.
Oh yeah.
Like, the stigma that surrounds like pit bulls for sure, but also like German shepherds or I don't know. I feel like there's like a type of canine that's like that maybe there's a specific name, but the point is like animal or dogs that are like in that class,
Yeah.
Dobermans, etc.
Rottweilers. Yeah.
Dogs do love unconditionally. Like they don't have no preconceived notion. It's always the same fucking you walk in the door and it's, I mean, if their tail isn't wagging, they're sick.
Exactly. There's something wrong.
Yeah, for sure. There's something for sure wrong.
Yeah.
So okay, well that's wild. I mean, also I think the last time I was at your house, what was that, like 3 years ago?
Probably, maybe a little
roughly. Bit more. Yeah. Well, I just remember you had I think you had 3 dogs then still.
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
And yep, because we have a pit bull and a German shepherd, and they're great with my son. They're great.
Of course they are. Yeah, of course they are.
They love him unconditionally, and never once have I been worried about anything.
Yeah. So the wolf, I'm gonna put a pin in that,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go back to assault and battling, and then and meeting each other, and
Yeah.
what was like your headspace at the time.
Yeah. So when I first found out that I was going to have an opportunity to battle out of the state, right? That was a bucket list item for me as a battle rapper. Like I'm getting on an airplane, I'm flying to an event where I feel like a lot of times as artists we do a lot of our own, hey, can I get on this event kind of thing, especially when we're up and coming. But this was more of, hey, we have this battle for you, would you be interested to go? So immediately 100% yes. Then once I accepted it, I just realized what I did, right? I'm going out of my comfort zone with people I don't know,
At
right?
all.
Obviously I knew Absurd, right? Love Absurd to death, still do to this day, still talk to him. But I was like, I'm out of my comfort zone right now. I'm going into somebody else's league in somebody else's home, and I've got to find a way to win over a crowd who only knows me from 6 to 10 minute videos on YouTube, but
Hmm.
doesn't know the real, doesn't know me on that level. So all the way up until the first, bar that I spit, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Like at your house, all I was doing was reciting my bars, but I knew I was so prepared because that's all I did. I prepared on the plane. I think I even spit the battle at the house a couple times.
Yeah, you did.
Because you battled that night too, I believe, and then you were spitting your rounds, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I battled Johnny Utah.
that's right. You did. Yeah. So we were doing that, and like we were just preparing, and I was so prepared. But you can be prepared and then get in your own head. And I just kept telling myself,
Hmm.
get out of your head, get out of your head. And then once we were going, and then once that first bar spit, it was just like I felt at home. But I think I felt at home because of how you guys ran the league and how inviting you are, and how it doesn't matter, like that W or that L didn't matter. What mattered was we were coming together as a hip hop community, and we were branching out and trying to bring more artists together instead of continuing the destination of separation.
Hmm. So that's, well, first off, I really appreciate you sharing the comfort level that you felt, because that was really important to me. That would be shitty if like you came over and it would be and you felt like um that you weren't in a safe space or whatever the case was,
Right.
um ostracized to some degree, because you're like, oh well, I'm in Salt Lake, and this guy is the owner of the league, and he's a dickhead, because
Right.
that would have been raw. So I appreciate hearing that, because
Yeah.
even though I was well into I've always felt like I've even though I've struggled with my own addictions and shit, I feel like I've always been pretty personable and like
What Yeah, one thing to think about you is even when, you would get in that headspace, I still knew who you were. And
Mhm.
that's what I think is different from if somebody else doesn't know the type of person that you really truly are. Because I mean, we all, when we talk about addiction, right? When we're on that addiction and we're writing it, we are somebody else, but the people that love you, they know who you truly are. So I don't think it's a I'm tolerating him right now. I think it's a I know who he is right now, so I'm going to stay with him in case he does something that is not a good idea.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I think that from the jump, from like I don't know, an hour in that car ride, from the airport to the house, it was it was
It was
meant
up.
it was up. It was meant to be,
Yeah.
just and then I mean coming back out. I mean, I've been out there 3 times and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So where was you mentioned like getting on the plane and move and going out
Yeah.
to another state and shit. I can only draw on my own experience with like the first time that I traveled for anything that
Yeah.
had hip hop. I would like to hear from you first though. What that meant for, like, did you feel like a star?
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Like
I
you were like on tour or something.
I felt like this is I think when we all do something we're truly passionate about and we all have this vision. What is this vision that's going to make you think that you've made it? You know, for some people it's money, right? When my bank account reflects the work I'm doing. Some people it's, you know, getting their, you know, getting featured in a magazine or whatever the case may be. For me, it was getting on a plane to battle. That for me was for me to tell myself that battle rap is I'm in the right place. This is the part of the hip hop scene that I should be a part of. This is where my passion is. And the second I got to that airport, it was real. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this, like, you can ask Bree, you can ask Nap, you can ask Cody. It was crazy to me. It was surreal. It almost didn't feel real. It didn't, you know, it didn't feel real. And it wasn't like I was a big name or anything.
Of course,
Nobody knew who I was, you know, nobody had a goddamn clue who I was back then. They didn't care. But to me, it meant the world. To me, it was everything. It was everything to me.
Yeah, dude. Okay. So, I resonate with so much of that. So like when I first went out to LA to like do, grind time.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I am on tour.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like so good about it, you know,
Yeah.
like it was, as I should have, you know, but I for real felt very, I was very appreciative and grateful, but I was also like, dude, this is the shit. Like I could do this, and like, yeah, now I travel. Like this is the next step, is like traveling to a place to do what I feel like or not that I feel like that I do love doing, and that's rapping. And
Yeah.
to do it in front of other places. And so to hear that, yeah, that lands fucking incredibly deep. So you have a pretty, I've always wanted to dive deeper into this with you. When you share stuff at you know, for new shows and things like that, I can see the support from Reno come out for you. How long I have one question, and I'll keep going from here, but how long have you been making music in Reno?
I would say, I'm going to date myself here, going on 16 years, 15, 16 years.
Okay. When you came out, it was like 2012 or 2013, roughly. Or was it? Yeah, roughly. At that time, so 10 years ago, where were you at in your local scene as far as?
Yeah. So craziest story, right? So I was at home one night, and my roommate called me. He's like, "Hey, these guys are freestyling down here. They're pretty good. You should come down here." I was like, "I don't feel like it." Like at that time, I kind of just wrote music for myself. I really didn't do anything with it. I freestyled. That was my thing. You know how like you go to the party, someone's like, "Oh, I rap," and you're like, "Oh, so do I," because you're all drunk and you're like, "This is gonna be awesome." And
Oh, so do I, dude.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, let's do this," right? And everyone's like, "Oh, this is sick." But I mean, I was always encompassed in the culture, right? Like I grew up watching WRC and watching Thesaurus and Ilmac in the 2-on-2, just absolutely just body everybody. And I was like, one day I want to be. I told myself I will never be on their level, but I want to be on a level to where I can get booked to go out of town. Like that was my goal. And so I went down there and I met a couple guys, and we went to a show at the Old Knitting Factory here in Reno. And I still only really knew these two guys. I wasn't really doing shows or anything because I didn't have the money to record. I didn't have the money to build a studio at the time. I just had my pen and my pad, right? And these guys were freestyling in the alleyway. And so they're like, "Hey, you freestyle, you did pretty good. Jump in and battle these guys." And I'm like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, "There's a ton of people here. These guys are really good. And I'm not making an ass of myself to like, go do it." He's like, "Come on, man." Like they ran through us. So I jumped in there and I was going hard, and I was going, like, we went back and forth for a good 6 to 8 minutes. Right.
Wow.
And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "This is awesome. I'm going to go back in the show." I made some friends from out of town. It was cool. 2 weeks later, I get an email from Hubbard, and I didn't know who Hubbard was at the time. He's like, "Hey, we have Grind Time coming out here. It'll be hosted by Lush, Cap Kalish, Ron, all of them." And I'm like, I don't know those guys. I know who they are. Trust me. I know of them. I've never met them before. So you're listing all these names and he's like, I'm like, well, how did you even know who I was? Because I don't know who anybody is. You know, I'm just, you know,
just a guy.
I'm just a guy. I'm a guy.
Yeah.
I don't have a beard yet or tattoos, right? I look like a fat baby.
But I like the fucking party.
Right. I'm just like, I'm just bad. I'm just yelling at people.
Yeah.
He goes, I saw a clip of you on YouTube and he sent it to me. So some guy was filming the concert and doing like a, you know, behind the scenes type thing. And at one point he pans to the battle and just leaves it there for the entire battle and did like a minute and a half of me spitting.
Whoa.
So Hubbard found that, booked me from there. And that's how I got into actually getting booked for battles. And that was my first battle ever. Well, my first booked battle ever. I had done like freestyle, you know, like, hey, there's a freestyle competition, come down here and do it kind of a thing. But never been booked before. And that was literally how the story started.
Wow.
It's insane.
So, yeah, that is insane. Like, because you just went home.
I went home. Went to work. Didn't think anything of it.
And then he's Jeremy saying Hubbard, which is Dan Hubbard. What up, Dan?
What up, Dan?
775 battles is what he presided over. And then he gets a hold of this footage. Was it from a friend or was it like a friend of a friend that got just Facebook?
I posted on the guy's YouTube who
Good God.
He had done that stuff around here. And the craziest part is when I went to that event, because I knew nobody, right?
Yeah.
It was me. This was my squad. Me, my mom, my dad, Bree, and Cody. That was it. I didn't know anybody.
Like in the hip hop scene?
Nope. Just
okay.
And then Pisco, you remember Pisco, right?
Yep.
Pisco was there because that's who I had met at the bar when they were freestyling. And that was it. Those are the people that I knew. And it was it was the first time Grind Time came out to Reno. So everybody was there. And here comes this kid, you know, I'm in there with my parents, totally starstruck, by the way, because Lush, Cap Callis, Caddy Ron, all of them are there. And I'm like, Lucky I Am was there. And I'm like, how is this possible right now? How am I why am I standing here? Like, right. And at the time I didn't write for battles. Like I wasn't to that level yet.
Wow.
But when they said I won the battle, like after it was all said and done, it was the coolest feeling to me in the world. And I was like, I don't understand why this is happening for me. I didn't get it. It didn't resonate with me at the time that all these friendships, lifelong friendships and things were going to transpire from being in an alleyway, just honestly messing around because these guys were just running through people freestyling. And I'm like, might as well.
Yeah. I'm just going to go in and yeah, that gave me chills, man. Wow. I think that there's something to be said about, like how just putting yourself out there when no one's watching type of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously this is going to be a dumb fucking fortune cookie statement, but like doing things when no one is watching, you know, like just doing your best all the time type of shit.
Right.
Put you in a position that you like would not have ever fucking thought that you would be in otherwise. I mean,
no, exactly. And then, you know, when people always say, you know, how did you get started? I always, Hubbard found me, you know, he gave me an opportunity that I didn't even think was an opportunity. And, you know, had he not even reached out, if I knew Grind Time was coming, I would have never thrown my name in the hat. Like you know me, I'm all about, you know, do I deserve to be here? Is this something that I've earned? And at the time I hadn't earned anything. Nobody even knew my name.
Yeah. Well, you did deserve it. And you've definitely, I appreciate you saying that you've made lifelong friends from a group that, that you would have not otherwise been a part of. So, because it's something that I feel as well. So like to hear that origin story about how, because I thought you were doing music. See, this is what I'm saying. Like we've never even talked about this. And we've had very deep conversations and we've never talked here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'd never
so
recorded a song up until that time. Like, and it was probably a year and a half after is when I recorded my
I
first
was
song.
I was gonna ask that. So like, okay, hey, all right. So you won the first battle that you had for the grind time joint and all that? That's wild, Nick. That's out of control. And then also rest in peace, Cadillac Ron.
Absolutely.
So you are a year and a half out. When you recorded your first song, did that start like a avalanche of more songs that came behind it, or was it just like one and then?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, what really made me want to record was watching Awkwards perform live. Watching Awkwards perform live at the events made me really want to record music. His stage presence, his lyrics, the way he put bars together was like, it was so impressive to me. And being able to see that live as many times as I did, I feel extremely honored to do so. And when my first project, I actually featured Awkwards on a track. Actually, my first two projects, I had Awkwards on a track, and it was, to me, that was my we all look for those people we want to do songs with.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, that was one of the people I always wanted to do a song with. So getting to do that was, a humbling and amazing experience. And the more I wrote, and I would write music and I would do my first project. Well, funny story is Bree made all the beats to my first project.
What?
She made all the beats, my first project, all of them.
What does she make the beats on?
In our apartment. I can't remember the software, but a beat machine, right? And then a software with samples of sounds and just put it all together.
Wow. Okay.
Right? Crazy.
That is wild.
Absolutely crazy, right? And the more I would, record, the more I would write, I started to find who I was as an artist, and then I totally lost my way. I started being the artist that I thought other people wanted me to be. And I lost the entire passion for recording music and really doing battle rap. And then right around that time was when my mom got sick, and I decided that I'm not myself anymore when I'm writing. I didn't want to do it. That's why I was gone for 8-9 years.
Wow. Man, that's hard to I guess quantify, like what it's, because it's not what I'm thinking about is like the pain you must have felt, or slight movement of focus. You're just like, it's not like what I'm doing right now. And
yeah,
do you think that was like just right now, or like I'm just good?
At the time I was done.
Yeah.
At the time I was like, because I'm the type of person that if I'm not 100% committed, and if my passion isn't there, I don't belong there. Because at the end of the day, what if I get booked for a show and some up and comer doesn't, and I took their spot and I don't even really want to be there? That's not fair.
Yeah.
That is not fair at all. And you could tell as I was doing shows, as they was progressing and my battles, like I was becoming this person that I'm not that person. My music was, I got away from what I really wanted to do with where my last project was that I released, which telling stories about my life and talking about what's important to me and getting people that are down at the bottom and bringing them up to the top, with whatever they're going through in life. And I never got to get that message out before, which is why I came back.
Did you, when you speak about not having songs or making songs like for the proverbial people or whatever, before, was it more like clubby stuff that you were doing? Is that what I'm gathering from that?
A little bit of it was really some tracks were clubby, and other ones, like the beats were my style, but the lyrics I wrote didn't match up. Like, you take the project I just released and just, you listen to the My Life track, and you even watch the video of My Life, like that's the artist and that's the person that I am. People like the music that was being released before. but I didn't believe it when I said it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to me, that's more important.
Dude, that's way more important. Speak on why that's important.
Because
Speak on that.
because if I'm gonna so for a couple reasons. First and foremost, if I'm gonna say something and put my name and my brand on it, it has to be true, right? There can't be any false narrative or any, anything made up, right? When I write that lyric down on that piece of paper, to me, I should have a hard time getting through it when I speak into the microphone because of the emotion that it brings when I'm saying what I'm saying. And then even more so now, like, I have a son, like he should listen to my music and be like, that is my dad, not who is this guy? That's a big thing for me. And I've got friends and family who know me as a person and they know who I am, and when I release the music that I'm releasing now, they see that passion coming through because it's honesty on paper.
Wow. Yeah, you get one of them, you get a clap. I think I absolutely agree with you. I had a very similar come to Jesus type of moment when it came to like my music. And so to hear other people that have experienced something like that is just like almost like a group, like that you're like, I used to fucking only do this type of music, and now I don't. I was about to say I don't care. I care very deeply about the music I make. I think that's what's the biggest difference is that like I'm making more music with just like with intent. And a lot of my tracks have resembled that. We've mentioned your album several times. It's right now is a great place to plug it.
Yeah, so it's Stetsons and Dragonflies. That's the name of the EP. It's a 4-track EP. It's been out for a little bit now. But if you really want to find out who I am, listen to my life and then watch the video. And once you get both of those together, you'll learn a lot about who I am as a person and what's really important.
The links will be in the description. So please click those and support, man. What's your take on this? I don't know. I get like this meme of like it's free to support or whatever, your friends. What's your take when you see stuff like that?
Like, here's the thing. I get a lot of support,
and I'm being serious too.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
All right.
So I get a lot of support from my inner circle, right? My family, my friends. Outside of that, I don't see a lot of support from people I know. I see support from strangers that I've never met in my life. The people I associate with, they'll repost my post for my album. They'll post lyrics. They'll send me messages. And that's kind of where it stops. And then I'll get messages from people that like I said, I've never met before. And they'll say, hey, I really like this track. This line, I understood what you meant when you said it. And I like your message. And these are people that literally, because when you go on Instagram and you can boost a post, right? Or you go and you do anything and you can boost a post to get more people to see it. We shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that. People will support a famous person that they've never met before they'll support the person that they can talk to every single day. And I don't understand why. I don't get it. And I've gotten to the point in my life now where, and it sounds childish, and it might be, but if you don't support me, there's no reason for me to waste my energy supporting you. There's really not. There's no written rule that says when I release something that you yourself have to repost it. You don't have to, but don't expect me to do it if you're not gonna have the same respect of, because when we take time as artists to create something, whether it's music, whether you're painting or photography or whatever it is, we are putting everything that we have into that. We leave nothing on the table. And when you release something, and it means the world to you, it can be hurtful sometimes to not see that support and to not see, anything like that. But I learned a lot about who really supports me over the past year and a half. I learned a lot about that, with everything that went on in my life over the past year and a half, who truly cares and who truly, you know, not, I wouldn't say wants me in their life, but who truly is there for my family and I. I learned a lot about that over the last year and a half with what we went through.
Wow. Um, I mean, that's a mic drop moment, man, because I think I feel the same. There's a piece that you spoke about as far as like don't it was along the lines of don't expect the same energy from me, like if you're
Yeah.
not. So, and that's not even like the worst thing. Like it's just like yeah, just don't expect the same energy. I don't know. But also it's like I think about uh like if people, first off, let me do this before I go into that point. I appreciate the fact that other people are hitting you up too that you don't know. That's fucking amazing. Like because to touch someone that you're like, yo, like this is the shit. It touched me in this way. I mean, what better fucking pick me up do you need for even that might even make a week, honestly, even for
Oh
me.
yeah.
Like, dude, thank you for hitting me up. And I had something very recent that just happened to me about that. I've been making some, I don't know, making some pretty significant strides in what I'm trying to do with myself and
Yeah.
uh, challenging myself in different ways as of recent. And it's been extremely fruitful, extremely gratifying, and I'm extremely grateful. And on this past Saturday, I got hit up from my boy who told me that he was listening to DKM. And I don't listen to DKM.
Mhm.
I like because it was not often. I mean, by often I mean maybe once a year, but or something. I don't know. It's only been out for 2 years, but I don't listen to it. I don't listen to it. There was a lot of emotion put into it, and I wanted to kind of just like leave it there. And I had another friend hit me up later that day saying that they were listening to DKM. And I was like, is there something fucking going on, man? Do I need, is
Yeah.
this like someone telling me like you should be listening? Just take a listen to this song really quick. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna do that. So I listened and I was like, damn, dude, like this is, do you remember when you made this, Nate? Like this was a song to you. And this was a song that you made to empower yourself and to show what changes you wanted to become, even though that you were not them then. um, and it was so fucking sick to listen
Awesome.
to, and I was just admittedly a little bit of a mess. Not it wasn't wild, but I was just like, fuck, dude, this is like
Yeah.
shit. I wasn't sad about it. I didn't think
Right.
about anything bad about it. Like the previous notions, or excuse me, the previous emotions that I tied to it before went away. It was more like, damn, dude, like you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. That's fucking right, dude. Like running all these red lights, sitting, like
Yep.
it just started hitting me. And so I resonate highly with what you're saying about that.
Yeah.
Like about,
Well, here's what I'll tell you about you, as an artist, if I could. I look at everything like sports, right? I everything like if I look at battle rap or I look at music, the people that we that are in our circle that we know, or even branch out, right? I look at it as sports, and when I see people, I'm like, oh, minor league, major league, I'm like, these guys are crazy. You and Nap are, in my opinion, two of the best artists that I've ever come in contact with and heard rap live in a studio, whatever it is. The way you both put your lyrics together and the way you write, and I've seen your process. I've watched you. I've watched Nap so many times. Um, I haven't come in contact personally with somebody that's better than either of you. I
wow.
truly haven't. And you know me well enough that I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, right? But I haven't. And when I asked you to send me the link to my favorite song of yours, and I know you know what it is, and I know I don't have to say it, right? I still bump it, right? And I still listen to all of old Nap's old stuff as well. And anytime, either of you release something, to me, that's the big release. That's big for me, because I'm like, all right, what did they say? How did they put it together? And I want to hear it, because it's impressive to me. It's, I think we all have those things that make us great in life, right? But what makes you guys so great is you stand out amongst your peers, and you don't realize it, but you do.
That's fucking wild, man. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I really do appreciate it, and I know it comes from a place of love. And I think the fact that you are, I'm just so happy you're making music. Let me just say it like that. Yeah, let me just say it like that, because like when to see the drive and the effort behind it, and obviously like the progression has been fucking, dude, that means that you're paying attention and you're listening. And like when you listen to songs, and it's almost like watching game tape, and you're like, I could have did that better, I could have did that better. And not even that I could have, whatever, you're just like analyzing and being like, this is all a process, and I'm still getting better at this shit. And that shit was dope. But now it's gone. Look, I have a question for you about this.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you might feel the same way, or just your thoughts. So I'm releasing a single this Friday. Well, when this releases, it'll have already been released. But since we're talking in the past, I'm releasing a single, and I've been holding on to it for probably like the last 5 months now. As far as it being recorded. Now, as far as it being in my fucking notes, it's been there for probably like a year and a half. Okay. So like I'm in love with it, right. Like I'm in love with the whole EP, and it's all mine.
Yep.
Like no one has it. I mean, there's a couple people, but it's not wild, What are your thoughts on what I'm about to say? So when I release a single, I'm dealing with right now, like letting my kid go to school type of shit.
Yeah.
Except it's more than that. It's like, I'm not going to see you again, because it's no longer mine. Because that's how it's, and it's, I don't know if I'm explaining it the right way, but that's,
no, I feel it.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. And I'm trying to like get, not trying. I have come to the point where it's like, okay, I'm over it. To some degree. I mean, I was just listening to it this morning. I was like, nah, fuck, dude, everyone's going to fucking hear this on fucking Friday, or just the people that want to hear it they're going to hear it. They're going to be like, and it's almost like you want to keep it safe, because you don't want the criticism and all that shit.
Yeah.
This is all thoughts in my head, so I'm just thinking out loud. What are your thoughts surrounding that?
Definitely. So if I were to ask you right now, tell me a song that changed your life, what would you say? Do you have one? You don't have to know the name. You don't have to say the name, but do you have one?
Yeah.
Right. That impacted you?
Yeah, that impacted me very much. Yeah.
You probably have a song on that EP that will impact somebody's life, and you'll never know that it did. And the type of person you are and the message that you send, that EP releases, and you're going to change somebody's life for the better.
Wow. So is that what you think about when you're releasing something?
I always told myself that, I think that, anytime you're like, I want to be a rapper, or I want to be an actor or an actress, we all think of, every one of us, like money and fame, right? The world's going to know my name. It's all of this, right? You're like, this.
Please tell me you sounded like Matthew McConaughey for a second, just right there. The world's going to know my name.
World's going to know my name. I'm going to drive a Lincoln. But I started to tell myself that the way I would know that I made it as an artist is when that happens, when I've impacted somebody's life and I know they're reciting my lyrics and the part of the song that means the most to them. So obviously, yes, by holding on to it, it is yours, but you're an artist and you deserve to be heard with the message that you want to send. And that EP could take somebody from who's really contemplating not being with us anymore, and it could turn that around for them. And it could be the littlest bar that you wrote down that maybe you were just trying to get from bar to bar and you didn't think too much of it, and it changed somebody. So I think because you are so talented and you have a message every time you hit the microphone, releasing that could change someone's life.
I love that. I agree with you. Because I mean, I agree with you. I've shown people like the closing song on it, and it's an emotional song. And it's very small. It's like only 20 bars, I believe, that I spit, but like you can hear genuine emotion in my voice because that's what was going on. And so the feedback from the small listening crowd has been pretty good. But I do think that I've been on this, and I love your thoughts on this. When I'm in a music making process, like for an album or for this EP, a personal album, and I'll touch on what I say personal album there in a second, but I find myself like making music just for myself. Like what do I find is going to be cool to me? And then it ends up turning into something different. Like Ode, like Outwork Everyone Daily, was again like a self-affirmation for myself. It was like, nothing is lucky or free, I outwork them. Like say that shit to yourself all the time, Nate. Like say that shit. Like tell yourself that you were gonna outwork everyone daily. Artery, I can do this for my whole life. Like that's all that's what it felt. That's what it feels like to me, you know? And I think by osmosis, it ends up obviously, you know, other people feel the fucking same way. So like, that's how that happens. So you mentioned that you make music also like with others in mind. Do you also just make music for you?
Absolutely. Everything that I write is so I'll give you an example. So Lift Off. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs I've ever done. And I love the video. Everything was great. And Lift Off was
great
written.
Song, by the way. Fucking great song.
Thank you. It was written the day before I was going to the studio to record it, but it wasn't Lift Off. And after I did My Way, you know, I was writing and preparing and making sure, you know, every bar was like, because when I write for me, but I have others in mind of what are they going to learn from my story? Because I want to tell my story the right way. And I was playing the beat in this room we're in right now, in my studio, in my house upstairs, and I'm listening to it, and the beat comes on, and I just go, Lift Off. And I'm like, hold on a second. What did I just do? I'm recording this song tomorrow. Lift Off's not even in the song. And I'm like, dun, 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 dun. And I'm picturing people just getting amped up and somebody using this song to get to that next step in life. And that's getting pumped up for an interview at work, or coming out of a tunnel for a sports game and giving someone that motivation. And I'm like, I'm changing the song right now. I'm done. I deleted it and I wrote Lift Off in 30 minutes. And that was the song. That was it. And when I started going, and I couldn't stop writing. That was the thing. Like I could not stop writing. It just kept coming. And then I didn't finish the hook until the third hook came in for the beat. Cause I was like, lift off. I put this city on my back. Now watch it lift off. And then, you know, and then when I said I questioned myself because I said, I'm taking none of y'all with me when I lift off, except those inside my circle. And those who've been down since day one. I was like, you know what? I'm going to say it because it's true and I mean it, you know.
Ooh-wee.
But I'm not trying to explode on a national or worldwide level. You know, I'm just trying to say that all the good blessings that come my way, I'm bringing people with me when it happens, because that's what, in my opinion, that's what people do. You know, they bring in those who were with them when they had nothing, or when they were trying to fight whatever demons they're fighting. And when you wake up and you open your eyes and you know that those list of people are still there, Those are the people that come with you wherever you go. It doesn't have to be rich and famous. It could be anything. You take them with you.
You take them right there with you, man. I agree with you totally. I agree with you totally. That's why I love you so much. I think you're the fucking shit, man.
Thank you. I love you too, bro.
So hold on. You completely scrapped a song that you had already written?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you remember what that song was, or did you for real delete it all?
Oh, I remember it's garbage. I didn't like it, but I didn't like it. And I kept telling myself, like, this isn't who you are. But then I was like, studio time's booked.
Yeah, we got to go. Yeah.
I respect people's time. You know, he's an engineer. He's got a studio. I respect his time. I'm not going to cancel. That's not who I am. And I was like, maybe I just won't release it. But then I was like, this beat's too hot. And then the funny thing is, when it was recorded, I left the studio and I sent it to Cody, and he didn't respond. And I'm like, shit, man, what? And then he calls me. He's like, hey, sorry I didn't respond, but that song was too good to listen to on my phone. I had to hear it in my home theater system. He goes, you did it. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that was a conversation him and I had. He's like, that's the passion. That's Hardcastle right there. That's who you are. And then when I did the video, there's a reason that I recorded it in certain, the scene where it says Dickerson Road. Like, there's a reason behind like the settings of it, and just everything that is a part of that song. But to me, that was my lift off into it's time. Like, you're back, and you're going to encompass this music, and you're going to write for for everybody who ever said, I'm by your side. I got your back. Because before, I think I was writing for the people who said you can't do it, not the people that said I could do it. And that was the problem.
Wow. So, I mean, I think in both, there could be empowerment. Like, I think for those that are writing out of anger, I guess, or maybe to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
I think that there's a deal of emotion that can come from that, and drive, and all that. And I also can say too that I can see it being more fulfilling when you're bringing people with you and being like, look, like, you guys know that I make music, and you guys have continued to fuck with me and support me all the time. I don't have to put on this facade, and this is what I'm going to make moving forward, and this is how it's going down, and then outside of that, like, revealing your showing your like actual passion, I think inherently comes with who you are as a person. So to be able to have a new direction of what you want to express that as, I think that's fucking sick, dude.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think with everything that you have going on now, and the only person, and people use this shit all the time too, but it's for real. Have you heard of Neville Goddard?
Mm-hmm.
Neville Goddard, he was born in 1905, came to the United States in 1902, excuse me. He came to the United States in 1917, from Barbados. So he immigrated here, was on, the precipice of the esoteric movement. So different ways of thinking and manifestation, essentially the secret back. And I highly recommend any of his teachings. So like, there's like the power of imagination. Just Neville Goddard. I'll send you some books. Anyway, I think that you would love them. Absolutely. So the point that I'm making with that though is that I think that with you are putting out the energy that you want back, and that's what's happening.
Agreed.
Yeah, and it's happening without expectation of like some sort of return to some degree. Like, you're just like, this is who I am, dude, and this is who I choose to surround myself with. What are you doing? This is gonna be mid-February when this drops. what's on the plan for Q2, or what is 2023 for you?
So from a music standpoint, so I dropped Awaken 1. Awaken's going to be like just a series of like that's what I'm going to utilize like as my singles. Like it's not going to be a part of a project. I'm going to do it as a series, like Awaken 1, Awaken 2. So it's the Awaken 1 was a track that I wrote that kind of it's got that battle rap Hardcastle energy to it, because that still needs to come out, right? And I've had great responses, great streams on it, and I love it. And it's got no hook. It's just 2 minutes 10 seconds, and I use that as kind of my outlet. Like that's my therapy right there. I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm gonna tell you how it is, not how it's going to be. Like this is how it is. This is who I am. This is what you're getting.
That track is nasty, by the way.
Thank you. And then so my next EP is going to be titled Self-Proclaimed, because I feel like I am self-proclaimed, right? When I talk about myself, it doesn't come from a cocky energy. It's a humbled energy, but by self-proclaimed, I mean that I am self-proclaiming myself that this is who I am, and this is the place I know I have in hip hop. Like this is my place, and I know where it's at. I'm not trying to push my way up. I'm not trying to drop back down. I'm happy being where I'm at. And I'm Hardcastle. It's my last name, and I'm self-proclaimed that's who I am. So the album will be awesome. Like I'm really excited about it. I'm thinking around. Let's see. I just got 2 more beats for it, so maybe 8 to 10 tracks. Very very similar energy to Stetsons and Dragonflies, telling stories about who I am, about my life, about empowering yourself to get up, to get to that next level, and to understand that a person's opinion about you is just their opinion. That's all it is. And don't let people rent space in your head. Don't, if someone's not supporting you, or you have a friend who is no longer that friend, and that, like we said earlier, putting that same energy into it that you are, it's okay to move on. It's okay to grow and to be the person you want to be. And there's no time better than now. You don't have to say, I'm 38. There's no reason to change. This is my life. It doesn't have to be. You can get up. No. You can do something different. You can be whoever the hell you want to be. Just treat those who come in contact with you with respect. Have integrity. And then you can be self-proclaimed as well. Just be the person that would make the people around you proud.
Fuck yeah, man. I agree totally. This is all fake anyway, man. This be
goddamn simulation.
We're for real lucky to be in a country where you can, like, for real change. You could pick up and just change who the fuck you are.
Yeah, you just be the person. I mean, a lot of people live that facade for what they feel, what they do should, be. And you don't have to do that. Be who you want to be. Be whoever the hell you want to be.
You're gonna love these books by Neville Goddard, bro. You're gonna love them. Dude, you're gonna love them. And I keep talking about this on the last few podcasts, but Florence Shin is the author, and it's called The Game of Life and How to Play It, a book that was written in 1925 that is plain as day, 2 hour and 30-minute listen if you're into audiobooks, plain as day, about energy that you're putting out, and what you think about, like tapping into your subconscious and shit like that.
Ooh, nice.
Dude, you are the embodiment of someone who is very grateful and appreciative of what they receive. And that comes from a lot of, I think it comes from a lot of different places, but from a third party perspective, and as your friend, you've experienced a lot, and we all have, but you have for sure. And, to come out on the other side, in order to get to that other side, there's either a support system, or you're supporting yourself, or you don't get through the other side. Honestly, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And so when you spoke to, like, the last 18 months, 24 months or so, and the people that either kept in touch sometimes, or whatever, or the folks that were in your immediate vicinity that were like, yo, you got this, your family's got this, all that. you came out on the other side, and I think that through those experiences has molded you further and given you just a lot more of a just character, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it shows what really matters when you go through, some of the stuff that we went through. It shows like what is really important in life. Is it the things that you can purchase with the money you make, or is it the people that surround you when you need them? And you learn
pretty fucking quick that it's
real fucking quick.
Yeah, that it's all the materials for sure, but no, just kidding.
It's all them shoes that are in my closet.
Yeah, dude. It's everything that I fucking know. So with all that said, what if you had a stage at Coachella, if you had a moment for you to speak to a whole crowd, and everyone's vibing out, and you wanted to have just a quick moment for where everyone was going to speak to you or listen to you rather, what would your message be to the crowd for having for perspective on life?
I would say that when you open your eyes or when you go to sleep at night, either one, and you have this dream of this person or this thing that you want to achieve, the only thing standing in your way is you telling yourself you're good enough. And once you can tell yourself that you're good enough to achieve that dream or to go after that goal, whatever it is, it could be something as simple as you want to get up in the morning and go to the gym 3 times a week, and now you finally have the energy to do so. Or you want to, take care of animals. Whatever it is that you want to do in this life, there's only one thing stopping you, and that's you. You can do it. If there's funding that's needed, trust me, the money comes. It's weird how it happens, but if you manifest the greatness that you want for yourself and you surround yourself with the right people, there's no time better now than to get up and go after your dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, Short Story Bingo, episode 10 with my good friend Hardcastle. Thank you so much again for coming on here, bro.
Thank you for having me. This was a pleasure, man. Like I said, man, I'm so proud of everything that you're doing, and to be on this podcast with you it's truly an honor. It's truly a blessing.
Damn, dude. Yeah, thank you so much. And man, I'm fucking doing a lot and I fucking love it. I'm so happy about it.
Well, you deserve it. You deserve everything that's coming your way. We've spent a lot of time together in a lot of dark places, and we're both still right here doing what we're doing, and having this conversation goes to show exactly what I said, that you surround yourself with the people that have your back and that want what's best for you, and it comes for full circle.
My brother, I love you so much. Tell the people, thank you. Tell the people where they can find you. Your last single, Awaken, just download it. Let us know.
Yeah, so all music is on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon Music. Instagram and Twitter and TikTok are all at I Am Hardcastle. But that's where you can find me. You'll see a lot of things other than music on there as well. I share my family. I share what I'm doing with my day, and I just like to be here to help people. So if there's something that anybody needs, you don't have to know me. You just have to hit that button, then hit that send button, and I got you.
You're a fucking walking quote, dog.
I appreciate it.
He also has an OnlyFans. I don't know if you guys know.
That's true. I got feet pics for days. Italian feet, hella hairy. You're gonna love it. At hellahairy.com.
At hellaharryitaliano.com.
Italiano, mozzarella.
Short Story Bingo, ladies and gentlemen. Nate Chacon the third, episode 10. Our stories. I'm gonna have a regular Short Story Bingo episode. I actually was looking at potentially reading this weekend, but I'm going to be reading an agreement, or excuse me, a chapter out of the 4 agreements, and that's just going to be like one of me of the old, not the old, but the original format of the podcast. But until then, I'm so blessed to be able to talk with my friends and folks that I've been interested in talking to, and we're going to keep this fucking train going. So fucking hit that like button, fucking smash the bell to be notified, all that cool shit, and we're gonna be out on that note, man.
Love you
too, buddy.
Dun, dun, dun. Spear fingers. Cheers.